Okay, Jake, I can be real short with you. You've definitely put in the time and like you and I are on the same page as to what we're talking about. Um, what you did this fall was tremendous. The power was through the roof. You know, did a great job, and you worked so super diligently. I just wanted to give you something to work on as you're on your own here in October. And so I don't think either of these we barreled up real good, but it doesn't matter. What I'm interested in is one move. So first of all, you're doing a great job. That's a great back hip pinch. Good job maintaining it. That's an awesome back hip pinch. You really minimizing how much that back knee turns out. You're still getting a little bit of that. I don't think you got as much here. Little bit, right? But that's kind of like you're in kind of an unnatural angle there, so you kind of just sort of like self-correcting, but you are maintaining, yeah, your hip's loaded there real good, right? You're maintaining a good hip pinch there. So like that little awkward way that you start, like with your knee turned in like that, I'm not making a big deal out of your knee turning back out a little bit because you're still maintaining a real good hip pinch there. That's good, that's good, that's good. Just keep feeling nothing goes forward with my top half until I'm getting into the ground, okay? Because what ends up happening is as you watch your white hands, see, you're just starting to come forward before you get into the ground. See? So with our first movement being up top there, we're not creating a lot of back elbow independent motion like that. Then you get into a good spot there, right? Like you can see like that's pretty stacked up. You see the same thing here, how your hands start to move forward a little bit right before you get into the ground. And again, you get back to really good stacked up right there, right? That's great, Jake. I mean, that's why you pound the ball a million miles an hour and hit the ball way over the fence. But you can see from both of those swings how you're set up to be just a little bit around. What you're doing is so good. If you can just feel I'm getting into the ground toe heel before I rotate, or excuse me, I'm getting into the ground toe heel rotating before my hands start to come forward. And you can really see that on the major league samples. One thing that might help is, I mean, it's not a must, man, but it's really hard to be static. You know, almost every major leaguer gets that tiniest bit of action going back with their hands. I know we talk about we load our back hip, not our hands. You've got your back hip loaded. What we want to do, though, is not get that motion there. See how your hands are just coming down a little bit before you get your foot into the ground? And it just sets us up, even though we make a good recovery there. See how your hands just kind of hang, you don't really get any backward motion, and then you start to come forward as your foot's coming into the ground. And again, you get to a great spot there, being stacked up, right? Meaning hands are on, you see, I mean, your hands are literally stacked up, your elbows straight down. That's freaking great, right? But you can see how you just set it up to be a little bit around because you got that motion there. That motion there sets you up to be just a little bit around. That motion there sets you up to be just a little bit around. And, you know, as you watch those major league samples, if you get a little bit of motion going back with your hands, that may help you. Just think of it as like throwing, right? And how your arm goes back, right? And then your hips exploding or what popped your arm to be up. If you're going back a little bit with your hands and then it's that motion there that starts your hands coming forward as opposed to them starting to come forward just a little bit.